Everyone. I would like to call the City Caucus meeting to order for Monday, April 12th, 2021. We have 27 items for original consideration. If the clerk can please read item number 1.
Item number 1 for final consideration of ordinance amending Chapter 93 of the Code of the City of Schenectady.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 2, the clerk can please read.
Item number 2 for final consideration, an ordinance authorizing the change in zoning for multiple properties on McClellan and Bradley Street.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 3, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 3 for original consideration, an ordinance dated April 12, 2021, authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $7,447,551 aggregate principal amount of serial bonds of the City of Schenectady, New York, pursuant to local finance laws to finance a portion of the 2021 capital plan.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 4, the clerk could please read.
Item number 4 for original consideration, an ordinance approving the continuation of current bond anticipation note ban for the 2018 through 2019.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 5, the clerk can please read.
Item number 5 for original consideration, a resolution reappropriating the adopted city 2021 budget.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 6, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 6 for original consideration, a resolution waiving the interest, penalties, and any other charges on the second quarter property taxes.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 7, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 7 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the city to enter into a lease with the Schenectady Economic Empowerment Center, SEEC, at 140 Erie Boulevard.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 8, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 8 for original consideration, a resolution confirming the appointment of Sharon Carter, the City of Schenectady Civilian Police Review Board.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 9, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 9 for original consideration, a resolution setting the professional photography fees at the Park Rose Garden.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 10, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 10 for original consideration, a resolution declaring the City Council as the lead agency under the Vale Park Landscaping Improvement Project.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 11, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 11 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the City of Schenectady as lead agency for the improvements of Vale Park to declare that the project will not have a significant impact on the environment.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 12, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 12 for original consideration, resolution declaring that the City Council as the lead agency and opening a 30-day public comment period regarding the proposed alienation of parkland located in the Stockade Historic District.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 13, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 13 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 3 Albert.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 14, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 14 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 200 Edward Street.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 15, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 15 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 742 Eastern Avenue.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 16, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 16 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 837 Bratt Street.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 17, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 17 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of vacant lot at 923 Delmont Avenue.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 18, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 18 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1068 Congress Street.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 19, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 19 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1306 10th Avenue.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 20, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 20 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the sale of 1326 Crane Street.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 21, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 21 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the Commissioner of Finance to increase the deposit of the 2020 Consolidated Local Street and Highway Improvement Program, CHIP, Extreme Winter Recovery, EWR, and PAVE New York, PAVE NY, funding to HY 417-083-201-023 by $241,951.93.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 22, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 22 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the amendment of revocable permit number 648 to Jack Kowalski for a sign that will overhang the city's right-of-way at 185 A Street.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 23, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 23 for original consideration, a resolution authorizing the issuance of revocable permit number 658 to 318 Broadway for a sign that will overhang the city's right-of-way at 318 Broadway.
Discuss in committee without objection on consent. Item number 24, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 24 for original consideration, a resolution recognizing National Library Week.
This item will be taken out of order and presented by Councilmember Patrick. Item number 25, the clerk can please read.
Item number 25 for original consideration, a resolution recognizing Arbor Day in the city of Schenectady.
Discussing committee without objection and consent. Item number 26, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 26 for original consideration, a resolution accepting the bid and awarding the contract for the Orchard Park improvements to Newcastle Paving.
Discussing committee without objection and consent. Item number 27, if the clerk can please read.
Item number 27 for original consideration, a resolution accepting the bid and awarding the contract for the Smart City Zone A and B fiber optic deployment to Shup Line Construction Incorporated of Altamont, New York, in the amount of $2,807,579,000.
Can you please reread that amount? It's $2,807,579.
Yep, $2,807,579. I'm sorry.
Discussing committee without objection on consent. If there's nothing more to come before the City Council caucus, I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn. Motion.
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you. I would like to call the City Council meeting to order for Monday, April 12th, 2021, and I would like to call on Reverend Dennis Graham Parker for prayer invocation.
Thank you for having me. It's a privilege. And the one thing I want to say is that we're all in this meeting because we have a deep love for the city of Schenectady and its people. I'm going to read something and then I'd like to pray. It says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. And though we may not know each other well and share unity in love for one another, even opinions and decisions that are made, votes that are cast, we're united in this one fact that we all love the city, that we can all see good and we can all see a prosperous future for the city of Schenectady. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a minute to pray. Lord God, we thank you for today, for your grace and for your favor. I pray the same to be true for this meeting, that we could be united in love for Schenectady and its people and devoted to a picture of a preferable future. We ask for unity in all things. Unite our hearts and our spirit. Unite our minds and our thoughts. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I would like to call on Ms. Patrick to lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Ms. Michael, can you please complete the roll call?
Ms. Porterfield?
Here.
Ms. Zaluski-Walzunas?
Here. Here.
Ms. Patrick?
Here.
Mr. Palomini?
Here.
Mr. Mutivaran?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have one out of order resolution this evening. Item number 24, a resolution recognizing National Library Week. If I can call on Councilmember Patrick to present this resolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I have the floor?
Please proceed.
Okay. Whereas National Library Week, April 4th through 10th, 2021, sponsored by the American Library Association, is a time to celebrate our nation's libraries, library workers' contributions, and promote library use and support. Whereas the theme for 2021 National Library Week, Welcome to Your Library, recognizes that libraries expand beyond their four walls, impacting the well-being of the communities they serve. Whereas public libraries provide all citizens free access, whether in person or virtually, to the knowledge and information that they need to live, learn, and work in the 21st century. Whereas through access to technology, multimedia content, and educational programs, libraries offer opportunities for everyone to explore new worlds and become their best selves. Whereas libraries are committed to promoting literacy and a love of reading with diverse collections, programs, and services for all ages, ethnicities, and socioeconomic backgrounds. Whereas libraries and library support staff provide personal service and expert assistance to all library users. And as author Neil Gaiman has said, Google can bring you back 100,000 answers. A librarian can bring you back the right one. Whereas libraries are centers of civic engagement, providing information, resources, and programming to foster full participation in the democratic process, and thus are valuable partners to government agencies, community leaders, and elected officials. Whereas the Schenectady County Public Library has been on the front lines of Schenectady's COVID-19 response, first as a call center, later as a vaccination pod, and currently in assisting individuals in scheduling vaccination appointments. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor, Gary R. McCarthy, and City Council do hereby pause in their deliberations to recognize the valuable contributions of the Schenectady County Public Library to the citizens of the City of Schenectady. May I have a motion to pass this resolution?
Can I have a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is passed. Congratulations.
Thank you. Ms.
Would you like to invite Ms. Bradley to say a few words?
Yes, I would. I'd like to introduce Karen Bradley, who's the director of the Schenectady County Public Library. Karen, would you like to say a few words?
Yes, I will. I'd like to first extend my thanks to Mayor McCarthy and all the members of the City Council for this recognition. This year in particular, as for all of you, has been a most unusual year. Our library staff were called to serve in a very unique, different way, although in some ways not so different, because you know we've always served in breaking down barriers in our community for those residents throughout the county, and particularly in our city. The city of Schenectady certainly holds many residents who are really very much in need of the services we provide. And we are very pleased to be able to announce that we're going to be reopening our Woodlawn branch library, which is in the city of Schenectady. And many of your residents of the Woodlawn neighborhood have certainly missed having that library, and the renovation is almost complete. And I believe the last time I actually got to speak might have been when Councilman Mutaverin, when we opened the branch library up in the Central State Street neighborhood. So we deeply appreciate the recognition, and we are slowly phasing in our library services to the community. Certainly handling 29,000 calls through the call center, providing for the residents of the city and the county that were in dire need. We're proud of that, but we really do look forward to getting back to our true literacy mission, and look forward to reestablishing all of our partnerships we've missed, working with our county and city nonprofits, our city school district, our strong literacy partnership. So there's some great challenges ahead, but we're committed and the staff is committed to serving not only the city of Schenectady residents, but, you know, the whole county. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. And thank you, President Mudavarun.
Thank you. Can I have approval for the minutes from March 22nd, 2021? Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Communication and petition. Ms. Michael, is there any?
Communications presented to the City Council for Monday, April 12, 2021. Under official, there were none. Under general, from Rosie Lewis, Morgan Ann Myatt, Reverend Dustin G. Wright, Dick Michaela, Reverend Wendy Bartell, Catherine Marsh Wolfram, dated March 2nd, 2021, stating their thoughts on the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative and recommendations for a transparent, community-led task force. From Michael McGlory, an email dated March 22nd, 2021, requesting the City Council delay accepting the Chief's recommendation on the Police Reform and Reinvention Collaborative and consider some of the suggestions presented by Schenectady Clergy Against Hate. From Reverend Nicole D. Harris, a letter from the local branch of the NAACP requesting the Mayor and Council support the ban of knee holds. From Dana Friesen, an email dated March 30th, 2021, demanding Council adopt a budget that will prioritize community well-being and redirecting funds away from the police and used towards housing, jobs, youth programs, restorative justice, and mental health workers in the community. From Schenectady Clergy Against Hate, a letter dated April 2021, detailing the lack of collaboration in creating the Reform and Reinvention Collaborative and requests amendments for a trust that was formed, then broken during the process. From P.D. Boris, an email dated April 2021, stating that she was hoping there would not be an increase of bonding during this governmental shutdown. There are too many inefficiencies from a safety and aesthetic perspective. Under petitions, there were none. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee reports from my colleagues.
Mr. Mudavarun?
Please proceed.
Thank you. So under city development and planning, I just want to point out the fact there was a press release that went out that named Schenectady one of the top 10 cities for first-time home buyers. This report was by Realtor.com. And this is due in large part to the homes program, which the mayor instituted in his during his first term. So, you know, there's opportunities for people to purchase homes. We did outstanding last year, and that program makes it easier for people to get their financial assistance, housing opportunities, and first-time home buyer programs are also available through the city. And there's other resources as well at the city level in our Department of Development. And at this moment, I just want to take the time to uplift the folks in the city who do that work. Specifically in the press release, Mr. Maurice Brown is named, who is the home ownership coordinator. He's only been with the city for just a little bit over a year. December marks his year, and he's done an outstanding job, along with working very closely with Mr. Colden in the law department, and also other members of the city staff and the housing committee. I just also want to say that I have worked with Mr. Brown additionally in the Schenectady Housing and Development Fund. And he's a pleasure to work with, and he really, you know, is always in touch with buyers, in touch with realtors, in touch with the bank, and just really getting the job done. So I just really wanted to lift that up, that, you know, we get to talk about all the great things that happen, but, you know, we don't do the day-to-day. So I think it's really important that we lift up the people who do the day-to-day, and because of that hard work and all of the city staff that I've mentioned, and probably some people whose names don't get mentioned on a regular basis, that we're able to be recognized in that way. So I just wanted to make sure that we mention that, and that we also give credit and thanks to those who helped us to achieve that goal. Thank you.
Any other member? We'll move in privilege of the floor related to legislative agenda. Does the clerk have any submissions from the public in regards to legislative agenda? And if so, can you please read?
No, Mr. Mutavaran, there were no submissions.
Is there anyone who would like to speak with regards to the legislative agenda? Seeing none, I declare this portion closed. Can I have an approval for the legislative consent agenda? Motion?
So moved.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We'll move into privilege of the floor regarding general city business. Does the clerk have any submissions from the public regarding the city business? And if so, can you please read?
No, Mr. Mutavaran, there were no submissions.
Seeing no one in the attendee list, I will declare this portion closed. And I will move into miscellaneous business from my colleagues. Please unmute yourself.
Mr. Mutavaran,
Please proceed.
just want to announce that this weekend, no, excuse me, I got my weekends mixed up. On the 24th, I believe it is, there will be a number of cleanups around the city. Goose Hill's got something scheduled in the neighborhood as well as Woodlawn. I also think a couple other neighborhood associations have something lined up. Bellevue has their cleanup scheduled for May 1st. And this Thursday, Bellevue will have a neighborhood association meeting via Zoom at 7 o'clock. That would be the 15th. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry, got some, I forgot. Also like to remind people, with the good weather, please be mindful of other people, particularly with the noise. Cars are going around with, your windows are open, that's fine. You're playing your music, that's fine. But there is a level of noise that really needs to be adhered to. I've already gotten a number of complaints from individuals around the city, particularly in the Eastern Avenue, Vale section, Hamilton Hill, as well as the Bellevue neighborhoods and Goose Hill neighborhoods. I've gotten a number of calls already. So, please keep in mind that, yes, enjoy your music, your radio, your noise, but keep it to a respectful level, please. And also with the littering, as the weather is nicer, unfortunately, I saw some woman today, she was driving, opened her passenger side window and just threw trash from the driver's side out the passenger side. It's completely unacceptable behavior, and we really need people to take some pride in our city, have some respect for our community, and quite frankly for yourself. So please keep in mind your noise and littering. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Mr. Mutavaran?
Please proceed.
Mr. President, despite your reluctant move to reinstate me to the Finance Committee on Friday, you have yet to return me as chairperson for City Planning and Development Committee. Furthermore, in your attempt to silence me, the explanation of why I was removed from those committees and replaced by Ms. Porterfield is woefully inadequate and reeks of politics. Two of our former colleagues resigned in January. Since that time, our committee structure has not been an issue. We have conducted city business without interruption until last Monday when you made it an issue. Why is that? Not only have you ignored the advice of Corporation Counsel, Colden, but you seemingly politically agenda nearly cost the city millions in interest payment savings. Your response to my request for a reason why you removed me through the Daily Gazette was stating that you felt the need to bring balance and diversity to all the committees. Are you saying I was removed because I'm a white woman? You will use any means necessary at your disposal to self-promote your future, including gambling with the financial welfare of our city. When you bring into question my integrity, my experience, and my commitment to all the city residents, regardless of race, color, or creed, I must draw the line. But I'm more concerned with what the impact of your biased decision will have on the residents of this city. With that said, for these reasons, your comments for a quick pro quo for committee seats and council appointments, your comments about race, your failure to follow professional advice and corporation counsel, and the political atmosphere that you have created from all of the above. I feel it is in the best interest of the city that I ask my colleagues for a vote of no confidence in your leadership and that you step down immediately. Furthermore, after knowing all the facts, I believe it is up to the public to decide whether you should resign from the city council. I asked Mr. Colden, our corporation counsel, to inform the council on the procedures moving forward on a vote of no confidence, and I will be asking Attorney General's office to provide an opinion on whether Mr. Mudavaren violated his oath of office involving a quick pro quo for council appointments. Thank you.
Mr. Mudavaren?
Please proceed.
What I'm about to say is outside of my usual comfort zone, but I really feel that I need to speak. And so I have prepared a statement as well. Mr. President, our city council is not working properly. Indeed, I think we can all agree that the council is a laughing stock right now. It's a mess. When I first joined council in January 2020, I asked to meet with each of my colleagues to get their advice about serving on council. I mentioned to them that one of the skills that I would be bringing to this table was an ability to build consensus and collaboration. I expressed my hope that I might be able to make that happen here among council members. I was told by a few of my colleagues, including Ms. Porterfield, that this could never happen and would never work. Well, a year later, guess what? My colleagues were right. It's not working. The question is, why? The point of us serving on council is to get things done for the people of Schenectady. Let's face it, healthy disagreement is fine and integral to decision-making processes. But now, what is preventing council from functioning well is hurting the city and its residents. Recently, what has divided the council is Mr. Mudavaren's politically motivated decision-making, which has not been in the best interests of Schenectady. Here are a few facts. Mr. Mudavaren said in the newspapers that he had to reorganize committees, not only because of the openings left by Mr. Kosher and Ms. Perazzo's resignations, but to diversify them. In fact, the Finance Committee, from which he removed Ms. ZW and has subsequently reinstated Ms. Zalewski-Waldzunas, had no openings. And it did have a diverse membership since Mr. Mudavaren is one of its 3 members. So why remove Ms. Zalewski-Waldzunas? Secondly, by adding Ms. Porterfield to the Planning and Development Committee, he successfully diversified that committee. Why did he need, therefore, to replace Ms. Zalewski-Waldzunas as chair? What was his reasoning there, given the committee's success under Ms. Zalewski's leadership, along with the city staff, at achieving its goals for the benefit of the city? The only clear answer is that Mr. Mudavaren was trying to politically diminish Ms. Zalewski-Waldzunas' role in her re-election year. He put his own political self-interest ahead of the best interests of the city. I was shocked when Mr. Mudavaren was quoted in the press that he would consider changing the committee reassignments back if Mr. Palameni, Ms. Zalewski-Waldzunas, and I would change our minds about appointing two candidates to council now, rather than waiting for the people to decide who would serve during the election process later this year. With that statement, Mr. Mudavaren proved that he was politically motivated to make the committee changes. Let me reiterate that my primary motivation here is to encourage collaboration on the council. However, I believe that Mr. Mudavaren has misused his role as council president, and therefore I second Ms. Zalewski-Waldzunas' call for a vote of no confidence. Thank you.
Any other colleagues?
Mr. Mudavaren?
Please proceed.
So I want to speak to the discussion around the financing, the finance committee, in terms of, it's been stated several times that the city was in jeopardy of losing this bonding rate that we were getting. So I want to just make sure we clarify. I did have questions, and I wanted those questions answered. Never at any point did we say that we're going to kick this down the road like a month from now so that we would lose that rate. When we do our budget normally, there is lots and lots of backup that explains everything that we're spending, how much you're spending, the last time we bought certain pieces of equipment, and all of those things were included. That was not included here. So I simply wanted answers to those questions so that in making a decision, to make sure it's a fully informed decision, because of course we're spending taxpayer money. So to have that to be spun to say that we're putting it off, and also to say, I heard this morning on the radio that the reason they got passed through is that Miss ZW was, excuse me, Miss Lulski-Walzunis was back on the committee. Is not really how that happened, because she was restored back to that after the vote. So I in fact did vote affirmatively. So I just want to make sure that it's very clear, because it was also tried there. I read that there was a spin on it that maybe this was about defunding the police, because there were questions raised about items that were purchased by the Schenectady Police Department. There were also questions asked about facilities. There were also questions asked about equipment that the trucks that the city was buying. So there were many questions asked. There was no focus on defunding police or just the police items. And never has anyone heard me say about defunding the police. So I just want to make sure that that's clear, and that we don't refocus that narrative on that, because that's how it's coming across. This council is not perfect. I absolutely agree with that. And we certainly have had our disagreements and misunderstandings, and but been able to come together. So this divided council, this is not recent. And if you really want to trace it back, I think you could figure out where it all started. I'm not here to finger point and to name names. Except I will say this, that in all of the time that I've been on the council, people have disagreed on many, many levels. However, I think that to make disparaging remarks about a person from our freshman council member, I really think that was out of line and unnecessary. It's fine to uphold your friend who you feel is the person, but to make disparaging remarks against another person, I think are highly inappropriate. And the fact of the matter is, I was not the decision maker, yet the freshman council member chose to attack a fellow female council member. You have a right, we have a right to disagree, but for me, that was probably an all-time low in my time on this council. I'm not going to delve into the Democratic committee and all that, because really, once we're elected, that stuff really should be staying outside of this forum. So I'm not going to say what should have happened or what should have happened here during this council meeting. I think those discussions need to take place among us, but not for this public forum for individuals, because that's not what they've elected us to do. So I will say that I believe that things that come out of the mouth come from the heart. So when people make kind of remarks on that, then I feel that that comes from their heart, and people will show you who you are, and then you should believe them. And so when you show me who you are, then I believe you. Again, I think it was unnecessary. And any comment that I made about the council being divided, it happened before the newest council member joined. And again, if people really want to look back, we could talk about that. But that's what we're here to do. We're here to do the people's business, to make sure the decisions we make are based on facts. And if facts need questions answered, then no one should say, well, they're asking too many questions, or I don't understand, or to make remarks that they're astonished by my lack of understanding, when in fact, the freshman council member, when they were ready to vote, said something to the effect of, this is my first year and I really don't understand a lot of this, so I'm leaving it up to my other council members. No one ever called you out on saying those things a number of times, because that's fine if that's a learning curve that you need. So to make disparaging remarks about people, I don't think it's appropriate. I just don't. And and I'm not willing to do that. regardless of what happens on this council or people say, I'm not going to make really, really negative remarks about people because I don't think that's necessary. So I will speak the facts of what has happened and respond to what's been said about me, but I'm not going to name call. I'm not going to say a person is less in one area than the other because I find that inappropriate. So I would not do someone what I feel was inappropriately done to me. And I really feel that outside of this, we do need to solve this, but this is not the time nor the place. And I do not join in the no confidence vote. I do not. Thank you.
Mayor McCarthy. Mayor McCarthy, would you like to make a contribution?
I'm sorry, Mr. President, I was muted there. I appreciate the opportunity. Deviate from my normal remarks and make a comment at department head meetings where there's strong feelings, different opinions. And I've consistently told the staff since I've been mayor that we're one big happy family, whether anybody likes it or not. And might want to start trying to do that with the city council. We're all trying to work together, but strong opinions. And again, we want what's best for the city as a whole. Just on the good side, cannot overemphasize that people still have to use precautions when they're out. Wear a face mask, wash your hands, do the social distancing. If you have not taken the opportunity yet to get the vaccine, please sign up for it. We're coming closer where there's light at the end of the tunnel. We saw over the weekend the reports coming out of the Green Market in downtown had a lot of people coming out, enjoying numerous vendors, not only from Schenectady, but around the region. We were able to open the municipal golf course last week. There's a lot of good things happening here, and just wanted people to, again, look at the good things that are there, take advantage of the venues and businesses that are opening up, but at the same time, approach it with a level of caution so that we can get through this. And again, people don't needlessly can come down with the virus, and we'll again hopefully have a enjoyable summer and get back to what we call the new normal. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. I would like to remind my colleagues that this committee realignment was done to balance the 9 committees with the 5 current city council members. I did fill this committee in a manner that I believe is in the best interest of the city of Schenectady, to have an accurate representation on each committee. Last Friday, Ms. Zalewski-Woolsness was reinstated into the Finance Committee. The reason for this move was to avoid any unnecessary litigation and to save taxpayers money from this burden. We also have to remind ourselves that there were no time in recent history that we had so many unfilled council seats for such a long time. Some council members chose the new low of personally attacking other members just for a committee assignment. This is just uncalled for and should stop. I believe that any council member is qualified to chair any committee. It is unfortunate that some see otherwise and are turning these committees' realignment into a political football. Ms. Porterfield is the most senior council member with 9 years of council's experience, followed by me. I would not be the figurehead council president you may have wanted. I'm going to do what is right for the city and this council. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Please have a good evening.
Night.